Good people YouTube, I'm the Watch Idiot, and Islander watches from Marc at Long Island Watches offer insanely good value, and that's pretty much a given, and that's why I got this ISL-27 over here, and this is actually my second Islander. However, this is my first Islander that's a direct take on a specific Seiko model, you know, such as their SKXs, the turtles, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, is it good enough to choose over an actual Seiko Samurai? I mean, let's see. Okay, so now on to the dimensions, and technically speaking, the Islander is 2mm smaller than the Samurai, you know, which is a 44mm case. But that's kind of a misleading number for the Samurai, just because the Samurai and the ISL actually have the exact same case, which is why the bracelets and the straps that are compatible will have the same proportions. But on the other hand, why it's a little bit smaller is because the bezel on the ISL is 42mm, whereas the 44mm measurement is based off of the overhanging bezel on the Samurai. So yes, the Samurai will wear bigger just because the bezel is a bit bigger. In that way, it's not the same, but it's not because of the case, if that makes sense. Yeah, the weight is chunky at 203 grams on my 7.5-inch wrist. It's still a super comfortable watch, and it's very well balanced, which is the main thing that's needed for a watch that's gonna weigh as much as this does. So I just really want to get the coolest parts out of the way first, because I'm just really excited to talk about them. When I first took out the watch, the day wheel was set to English, as one would expect. But when I was setting the day, I saw something just insane, and I saw a day wheel that I never knew existed. The Monday is just 1 horizontal line, Tuesday is 2 horizontal lines, Wednesday is 3, Thursday is a box with 4 lines, and then from there it's like kanji. But it's not a kanji day wheel because I have kanji day wheels. Yeah, I have no idea, but the fact that I am confused about it and that I wasn't expecting it makes it like so much better. Just because, as I mentioned in the last video that I did on my island, I absolutely love these bilingual day wheels. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting this, and that makes it just that much better. So yeah, if anyone knows specifically what kind of day wheel this is and which language or whatever it may be, or which variation this is, please let me know down in the comments and be my lifesaver for that matter, because I'm really want to know. Does anyone else have, you know, that sort of random detail or Easter egg that can instantly just elevate a watch in your eyes? I mean, just the way that, you know, these day wheels do for me. Let me know. And also another amazing part is the lume. It's super bright all around. It's not splotchy at any single, you know, point, and also on top of that, the bezel insert is fully lumed, and also it has relatively thin markings, but it's super clear, crisp, and bright. Honestly, I mean, it's amazing, and also everything is at the same level of brightness as well. So it's just crazy to me that they got this level of quality lume on a watch that cost me $225, which is insane. And even before the sale, it was $300, which is still insane value for this. And finally, one of the main reasons that I got this watch was for the modding potential. But it's not for the Samurai modding potential, because this one is compatible with all SKX parts. So I love the bezel on this one over here, the blue bezel, and I thought that would look really great on my SKX. And I have a steel bezel on the SKX, and I thought that would look really great over here. So then pretty much for the price of $225, I'm getting multiple watches. I mean, it's Marc, you're just too good. Okay, so now on to the bracelet, and this is pretty much the very first thing that you notice when you see it online or when you see it in person. And yeah, I mean, the Samurai, the bracelet on it, I mean, it's solid. It's not bad, I guess, but it's nothing exceptional. So for this Samurai version, Marc went with the hexad bracelet, which is the name that Strapcode gives this design. It's an absolutely inspired choice from Marc, absolutely perfect, just because the case of the Samurai is super angular, has lots of sharp edges, and it's just an overall very bold looking watch. So yeah, an oyster would have been perfectly fine even in an upgraded sense, but having this multi-angled bracelet, you know, just complements the watch so well and so perfectly, and it looks like it's OEM. Honestly, it looks like it's been designed with the Samurai. And also on top of that, obviously it's extremely good quality. I mean, it's everything is solid on it, well finished as well. It looks really nice. plays with the light, what a cliche again, once again. But it's true, it does play with the light really well. And it's got screwed links as well, which it makes adjusting really easy. And on top of that, it's got a 22mm lug width, which is compatible with all Samurai bracelets and straps. So if you've got a fitted rubber strap or you've got a different bracelet on it, you're good to go. No worries on that end. Okay, so onto the crystal dial in the hands. And yeah, I mean, I think that the crystal on this one is absolutely spectacular because it sounds like weirdly solid. I don't know why this one stands out to me a little bit more than the other ones, but it sounds really solid. And also, I love the beveled edge over here, and I don't think I've ever owned a watch crystal that has such a huge exposed bevel edge. You see some really awesome reflections through it, and also it doubles the lume, which is always a great thing. I mean, it's pretty awesome the way it does that. Now you can really appreciate the insanely good dial that's on here. It's a really nicely finished muted blue with a really weird, like really good sunburst finish on it. So yeah, it's just something that you want to be able to appreciate, especially for $225. Okay, so now on to the handset, and yeah, these are the more traditional Seiko style hands, whereas the black dial and bezel version of it has the Marine Master 300 style ones. But those Marine Master hands looked a little bit too short for the dial. It was a happy accident that I ended up getting this one, and it's a great thing because these are probably the best proportioned hands that I've seen on almost any Seiko, honestly. The minute hand grazes the outside edge of the indices perfectly. The same thing with the seconds hand. It grazes the outside edge of the indices as well. The hour hand is well, is well sized. It doesn't look too small or anything like that. It was a very welcome surprise because there's these kind of details, especially well proportioned hands, that just sets a watch off for me. I mean, I just appreciate it when the thought is put into that so much. So yeah, very good. Okay, so now onto the case and bezel, and yeah, the case is the same absolutely amazing Samurai design as I mentioned before. It's 42mm, which is the exact same size as the original Samurai case. The angles of this case is so cool, and it's pretty much unlike any other watch that I have, and that's why I always loved the Samurai from afar, and that's why I was so pumped to get this in a case that's also compatible with all the SKX stuff as well. So it just made it even more perfect and even more no-brainer to get it. The brushing on the sides are exceptionally done, actually, if you think about it, especially given that's $225 once again, and it's just super flat and super sharp. And speaking of sharpness, I've noticed now that I've been wearing it for a while that the top edge of the case has that really satisfying sharp feeling, not to the point of being uncomfortable, but the sharp feeling of that lets me know that this has been done with like super high precision, and it suits the character of the case really well too, for that matter. Oh, and then also just another thing, since the case has a larger footprint than the SKX because it's a sort of a cushiony case, it manages, at least for me, to look even better on 22mm straps that don't taper like NATO's, just because on the SKX it just never really worked for me, just because I thought that it looked a little bit too stubby on a giant 22mm strap. But for this one, it looks really great because it has more width without being that much bigger, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a personal thing, but I just wanted to put it out there, just in case anyone else thinks the same. So the bezel, I mean, the feel of it is really great. Let's listen to it actually. So yeah, it feels really great. It's really smooth, the action. It's a Submariner style bezel, fully polished, no grip issues whatsoever. But also, just another side note is that I got a little bit overzealous, so I wanted to change the bezel really quickly onto the SKX one, but I still haven't managed to do it because it's so incredibly solidly on the watch. I guess that's a good thing, but it is a bit irritating for me that I can't get it out. But I'll have to get some different tools for it as well. It's not really a negative, but just something to point out. And yeah, one of the biggest factors on this bezel is actually the insert that's on it. It's a polished blue ceramic lumed GMT bezel, and this is actually my first time dealing with a polished blue ceramic bezel. Yeah, and it just looks exceptional just because it has a super deep look to it that changes depending on the light. It just looks so high quality. The ceramic is really well done and well polished. Also on top of that, the numerals are pretty thin, but they're absolutely like super crisp. The lume inside inside of it is super crisp as well. And honestly, had this bezel been on a watch that's thousands of dollars more, I still would have thought that this is an incredible bezel. So yeah, to think that this is on a watch that's, you know, on a watch that I got for $225 is just amazing. And yeah, so why did I get it? And I mean, I've had my eye on the Seiko Samurai for a really long time, but I never really went for it just because it was 44 millimeter. It was a 44 millimeter case, and also had 22 millimeter lugs. I mean, I'm not really a fan of 22 millimeter lugs. So all that put together, I was like, no, I guess I'll pass on it. And then also on top of that, it was pretty expensive, all things considered. I mean, new ones are, you know, about, you know, starting at 400 and then ranging upwards from there. So yeah, I mean, I saw the Islander versions and I really liked them, but for some reason, I don't know why I didn't get it at that point. But yeah, I started thinking about it again in the past few weeks, and I was actually planning on getting the black dial version with the black and gray sapphire bezel, just because I wanted that to go on the SKX, and also had Murray Master hands on top of that. And it was $329, and I thought that was a really great deal compared to the original Seiko Samurais. But Marc had a Memorial Day sale, and which I don't know if it's still continuing on, you know, when I post this video. And this particular ISL-27 was being offered for $100 less than the black dial one, for a total of $225. So I mean, at that point, I mean, I just kind of had to get the Samurai one. It would have been really dumb for me not to save an extra $100 on it. So, I mean, I ended up getting it. And another one of the main reasons why I got it is because it is compatible with all SKX aftermarket mod parts, which is amazing, because now I can have, now the world is my oyster pretty much. And also on top of that, this has the same dial that's on my ISL-69, and I absolutely love the dial on that watch. So to have it in a bigger watch, you know, all the better. Every single part of it was amazing, and even at the $300 price, which is the original price, is absolutely incredible. So yeah, go check it out. Okay, so I think that this takes care of everything and gets through all the main points that I wanted to get for the Samurai. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up. That helps so much. And then do subscribe if you enjoyed and want to see more videos that are going to be coming up. And then also, if you want to get a better feel of who I am with watches, you know, check out my other videos, check out my other Islander video that I did on the ISL-69, and then come back and subscribe over there. Either way, until the next video, good day.